who I personally know that's going to be there. So again, there's so many different benefits of creating Facebook events, and one of them is just the fact that from an admin perspective, it's easy for the information for you to communicate to the people that have attended and not attended or not replied, and from a viral perspective to spread the word. So again, very simple on how to create events. If you are logged into your Facebook account, on the left-hand side, you will see the events link somewhere around here, and then you'll have a link that says create an event, and you'd follow the step-by-step instructions. But of course, contact your WSI consultant when you're doing this, because you want to make sure when you do create the event, it is done properly, it is set up so it will be published on other people's profiles and all those different advantages that I just talked about here. Okay, the next section I want to talk about is about Facebook videos. You know, a lot of people don't. There is about 14 million videos that are uploaded to Facebook every single month. So what does this mean as business owners, and how could you use it? We've done so many webinars in the past that talk about, you know, when you do a search in Google, how often you see videos appearing on page 1 of Google, and how you can leverage sites like YouTube and so forth to get your commercial, if you may, on page 1 of Google. The same thing now, we've been doing a lot of testing with Facebook, and we're finding the same type of results. But before we get into the Google stuff, let me just show you again how all this stuff could really tie in together as one strategy. So let's just say you build your Facebook business page. Now you've got it up and running. There's tabs now that we could create. For example, in this case, we've got YouTube, we've got Twitter, and basically if you click on the YouTube tab, it will automatically pull all your videos directly from your YouTube channel if you have one. And why this is important is the last thing you want to do as a business owner is take your video, upload it to YouTube, take your video, upload it to your website, take your video, upload it to your blog, then take the link and put it to LinkedIn, and take that link and put it on your Facebook page or your video on Facebook, and then, you know, all that stuff takes time, and it's tedious, and it's repetitive, you know, and you don't want to do that again and again and again. It's difficult to manage and to track, and it just wastes too much time. So there is a way you could actually get all these systems to speak to each other. For example, if you upload this one video to YouTube, it could automatically be published to your YouTube channel, it could automatically be published to your blog, it could automatically be published to your Facebook page, it could automatically be published to your Twitter account. So you do one thing, and it gets syndicated to all these different networks and gets pushed out there. So again, for that syndication aspect, speak to your WSI consultant, and it depends on what social networks you're using and platforms you're using. They can help you decide on what's the best way to do so. But going back to the example of our test, when we were seeing how Facebook video and how it would react with Google, we had a WSI consultant. He was actually located in Los Angeles, and he was doing an area rep training for the local consultants there. And basically, he wanted to show them the power of video. So he did a quick video, and he wanted to be optimized for the phrase digital marketing strategy Los Angeles. It's a bit of a long-term phrase, but this is just really for testing purposes. So we went ahead and put this video on Facebook, and take a look at the results. Even till today, now we did this about close to, I'd say, about 6 weeks ago. You type in digital marketing strategy LA or Los Angeles, that Facebook posting that we've done is still ranking #1 in Google. Now the wow factor is that after we uploaded this video to Facebook, I mean, these results happened in 24 hours. So within 24 hours, our client was on page 1 of Google for this phrase. Now you can see underneath as well, the video we upload to YouTube is there as well. It's ranking #3. But the key thing is the more times you get listings on page 1 of Google, remember we talked about dominating the results and pushing your competition off that first page of real estate. So here's a perfect example of how you can leverage the videos feature on Facebook as a marketing strategy to promote your products, your services, and to get organic listings on page 1 of Google, and especially in a quick period of time. We're talking about within 24 hours. So the big question becomes, well, how does this page rank so fast? Because anybody that's talking to you about search engine optimization will tell you, hey, it could take 3 months, it could take 6 months, it could take 9 months, it could take a year, and that's absolutely correct. It depends on how competitive the phrase is, it depends on what phrases are selected, it depends on your current website, how strong it is, it depends on what Google is actually ranking on the top 10 results right now, how strong their websites are. All these are factors that's going to determine how long it's going to take. So why is there a site like Facebook that when we upload a video there, why did it rank so fast? Here's the reason why. Think of Google. The question to first ask yourself is, how often does Google come to your website to get new information? Is it once a day? Is it once a week? Is it once a month? How often does Google come back to your website? And the simple answer, well, the answer is going to be different for everybody in the room today, but basically, if you want to figure out how or what keeps them coming back to your website, it's fresh content. So think of Google being a really, really hungry person and content on your website being food. So let's just say they come to your website, they eat up all your content, so they gobble up all that food and they leave. They might come back a week later to see if there's any fresh food for them. You might not have updated your website then, so they'll leave. And maybe they'll come back a month later now, and maybe you've added a blog or a press release or an article or something to your website. And they're like, wow, there's some new food here, and they gobble it up and they leave. Basically, you've trained Google, the hungry guy, to come to your website maybe once a month, because that's most likely when you're going to have fresh content or fresh food for them, because that's how often you're updating your website. So that makes sense for them to come back. But now if you look at a site like Facebook, how often does Facebook get updated? No, we're talking about every single second Facebook is getting updated with fresh content. So this is really like an open bar buffet for Google. I mean, they're just loving it. They just keep going back to Facebook again and again and grabbing the content there because it's fresh food, and that keeps them coming back to Facebook quicker, faster. So realistically, if you post a page of content on your website and you post a page of content on your Facebook page, Google will most likely get that content on your Facebook page faster and quicker because they visit Facebook more often than they would your website, because Facebook gets updated much more faster than your website. That's why you don't have to wait weeks or months to get results. You get results almost instantly because the power of Facebook. So that explains how Google indexes it so fast and in 24 hours or whatever it may be. But what makes it rank so high? I mean, some cases when we do things like this, they rank higher than the website itself. So the question is, why does Google value websites like Facebook? So if you're, again, not getting too technical here, but if you want to look at what Google considers their algorithm, and there's a lot of different factors. I just placed enough on the screen without everybody going dizzy. But, I mean, if you want to, for example, if I want to be ranked for the phrase dentist in Toronto, let's just say I'm a dentist in Toronto, and that's my main phrase, and I want to be ranked for it in Google, and somebody keys that in. I need to make sure that phrase is in my title tag, it's in my description tag, it's in my keywords tag, it's in my URL, whether it's my domain name or my page name or my folder name. It's in my header tag. It's somewhere in my body, and where is it in my content? Is it right at the top? Is it in the first sentence, in the first paragraph? Do I have links for my other interior pages linking back to that page with the phrase dentist in Toronto? And do I have images and the alt tag behind that has dentist in Toronto? Do I take that word and I make it bigger and bold and so forth to emphasize it? And so these are just some of the factors that's telling the search engines my website is about dentist in Toronto, or that page is about dentist in Toronto. The challenge, though, is even if you do all of this, there could be a possibility that your competition, and there could be tens or hundreds or thousands of sites that are already doing all of this. So now you're still competing against people that have already figured this out and are doing it. So the second biggest factor that Google looks at, apart from all those different elements that I just discussed, they look at to see how strong your website is. And if you look at, in Google, size does matter. So the more pages you have, you're considered more of a qualified resource. Google's magical mark is actually 100 pages. So if your website has 100 pages, you're considered a resource in their eyes, and it gives a really good boost for your rankings. So what this means is, if you have a 5-page website and your competitor has a 100-page website, Google is more likely to rank a 100-page website higher because they consider that a resource, probably more content relevant to the user conducting the search. Now,